Welcome my fellow geeks, Andrew here. Today in this video we'll be discussing Zack Snyder and the future of DC. Let's get into it. Just in case for those who aren't caught up, let me catch you up right quick. Zack Snyder, director of Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, Justice League the Snyder Cut, among many other films like 300, the recent Netflix original that just came out, Army of the Dead, as well as Dawn of the Dead and even Sucker Punch. If you haven't heard of him, I don't know, you must be living under a rock or something. I don't know. With this long list of movies that he's got, you'd finally think that Warner Brothers would let him take over the keys to their biggest property that they own, which is obviously DC Comics. He did have the keys, I guess, for like 1.5 movies. Man of Steel was completely his vision, hence why it's probably the highest rated film on that list, in my opinion. So Superman's origin story was told flawlessly, and Zod was perfect. I thought he was a perfect villain. They set up Krypton very well. It perfectly set up Zack's sequel also, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, even tying in the first 20 minutes of Batman vs Superman. It completely tied that in. But, here's where the problems honestly began with the whole relationship. When Warner Brothers released the movie, they cut 30 minutes of the film. So they cut 30 minutes of the original film that Zack had finished, ultimately making an Ultimate Edition, which I thought was kind of an awful move, but whatever. A lot of critics hated the way that he wrote Superman and even thought that Batman was way too dark and violent. Now for me, I love this film, maybe because I love the little details that Zack included. If you really look, you can find some. It set up the nightmare sequence that we know and love, obviously, evil Superman. Spoilers, but but if you look, you'll find some Easter eggs with that, and even Flash's time travel, telling him Lois is the key. That's a very big Easter egg. Obviously, people look way into that because you really think that it's about calming Superman down, and Lois is the key to Superman, but you kind of figure out that Lois is the key as in the key in switching Superman's crazy side once Darkseid kills her. So there's just some minute details, as well as Robin's costume with the haha jokes on you, Batman. It's just also absolutely amazing. Now I know, before you go typing furiously in the comments, I can admit it has its flaws. Doomsday looked odd. I will say the CGI was not it. I know. Also, I can see those who feel Bruce had zero self-awareness, and Superman not having hope, which his whole origin is based off of hope. But I can say that that's what made it great for me. If these heroes were real, people all over the world would be scared, and some even wanting contingencies for if they happen to go bad. It's scary. Can you honestly say if an alien that could fly, have super strength, laser eyes, and frost breath, you would be scared, or you wouldn't be scared? I could applaud you if you wouldn't be, but that's whole Bruce's MO. He's scared and often even jealous when Alfred even admits to him that, I think he thinks that the only reason why this is happening is because he's a little bit jealous of how strong Superman is. But yeah, if you could honestly say you wouldn't be scared, then I applaud you. So now enough of Batman vs Superman. Let's get off that topic. We're on Zack Snyder. That's what this whole video is about. So let's get on to Justice League debacle and everything. So back obviously in 2016, Snyder had basically wrapped up Justice League. A tragedy had happened on March 12th, 2017. Autumn Snyder, an adopted daughter of Zack and his wife Denise from China, had ended her life when she was just 20 years old. Very, very sad, very tragic. As some would say, the best stories start with tragedies, or some even end with tragedies. But this story, hopefully, cross our fingers, starts with a tragedy. Hopefully we can, build upon this. But anyway, let's take a moment for that. Alright, anyway, let's get into it. So, this meant Zack had to step away from the project, obviously. The movie was basically finished. CGI and some more scenes needed to be shot, but other than that, it was done. So Zack stepped away. Warner Brothers brought in Joss Whedon. Josh directed the first Avengers and Age of Ultron, among many other films. I know he directed Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the top of the head and a few others. So he seemed like what seemed to be a credible source, or a credible director, and even so credible in the fact that he actually directed some of the Avengers films, which obviously DC Avengers, hopefully they thought that would tie in, but it didn't go so well. So Josh somewhat wiped Zack's movie, basically just clean slated it and created what looked like a shell of once a promising story. Now, fans were obviously outraged because this is not what we were promised, even in the slightest. It seemed like there was no even clear-cut sequel for this Justice League, and the CGI was absolutely butchered. Steppenwolf looked just so weird, awful. What followed was nothing short of a movement, however. The fans literally raised over $150,000 in charitable donations and made the hashtag Release the Snyder Cut trend. Warner Brothers finally caved in, after we're talking years. We're talking 3 years. They finally caved in, and back in November they confirmed that they will let Zack finally finish his vision. So with a $0 take-home pay, and even finishing the nightmare scene and the scene with Martian Manhunter in his backyard, they wouldn't even let him get a studio, which I get. I know the counter argument, they spent a lot of money re-CGIing the movie, but the amount of money that this movie made for Warner Brothers is probably outrageous. That's why we can't get an actual total. That even stems from it too. I think we won't get I don't even know when we'll get a total of how much money subscription wise HBO, well, I guess subsequently Warner Brothers and even AT&T got from this movie. It was probably almost so much that it would be absolutely stupid for Warner Brothers not to finish. That's why I think we're not getting that. So anyway, what we got was everything that we wanted in that movie. We got 4 hours of amazing storytelling. I know, 4 hours. A lot of people I talk to, we're like, oh, it's 4 hours, I don't want to watch it. I'm telling you, you at night, I'm telling you, you binge watch like 4 episodes of a show that's an hour long. It's not that bad. Not that bad, especially because time literally flies. Almost every scene was better. More action, better backstory, Cyborg's backstory, guys. I don't care if you're not even a fan of Cyborg, but his backstory alone, it almost makes just his story worth watching. I'm telling you, it's emotional, it's gripping, it's amazing, it's absolutely amazing. Same thing with the Flash. He almost got like 10 minutes more added onto his backstory than what was in Josh's version. In Josh's version, it was just him looking at his lover, which is West. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I can't remember her first name, sorry. But Cyborg's backstory alone too, and Flashes, and just everything combined just made it, hit the mic, almost made it 10 times better of a film, just let alone in that, not even counting the additional minutes that we got it on, added to scenes and everything. So you'd say, what was Warner Brothers' response? You'd probably be thinking that if you weren't kept up with the whole debacle, which was absolutely nothing. Not a confirmation of letting Zack take over, or even praise for Zack, or even to come out and say how much money this movie made. In fact, it was the opposite. I want to say Ann Sarnoff, who's like the CEO of marketing, I want to say, or something like that, of Warner Brothers, came out and said apparently this isn't going to happen. Now, you can look at a pyramid of AT&T and subsequently Warner Brothers, and she's pretty low in the rankings, so I think that was just her. I don't know. There's so much bad blood that's a little confusing, but there has to be something on the inside we don't know about. I don't know if it's maybe. I couldn't believe that it could be something on Zack's end. It could just be something that a big company just doesn't want to admit that they're wrong. I'm really not sure, guys. For the fans that don't want Zack's vision, I ask you why. Please tell me in the comment section below. Like, I really want to know why. Like, what are we getting that is so much better? Like it almost makes me laugh when people get into arguments about Zack's just a crazed director, blah blah blah. What are we getting? I should say guys and girls, but what are we getting? Or I guess third, sorry, guys, girls, and other. What are we getting that's possibly worse than what we're getting now? If you watched Wonder Woman 84, did you enjoy that film? The 3 action scenes that we got? Probably even less than that. Now, I get the whole premise was her powers would be taken away because she thought of Steve Trevor and coming back. But if you watch that film, did you honestly think that should be the direction that DC should be taken in? Was Shazam all that cracked out to be? Honestly, Shazam was okay. I will admit, I did like Shazam. I really did. But there were parts in it that it was, I don't want to say the age-old like Marvel with the kid whole thing, but and it's Billy Batson, and a lot of people are like, it's already a kid's story. It's really not. Billy is actually, he's been in some dark stories, even when he was old and even young. But I'm telling you, why? What is so wrong with letting Snyder finish his vision? What can? That's what I'm saying. It's like, what's the bad part of this? Are you scared that it's going to go to his ego or something like that? He's already a director that makes millions of dollars. He doesn't have a small ego. Like, I'm telling you that. Now I'm just a fan, so people close to me ask me what went wrong with this whole debacle. That we finally can't get a full DCU. To that I tell them, look at Marvel. Let's just take a look at Marvel. They had a plan. They executed the plan. And hell, they're even continuing this plan, and they're following through with every promise they have made. Now, if you ask me, am I a Marvel or DC guy? I'm a little more of a DC guy, but I can absolutely look at Marvel and be so envious of their fans, because their fans are actually being treated well. Their fans can look at a slate of movies to come out for 5 years. In those 5 years, and in those 5 years, guess what, guys? Those movies are coming out at Marvel. In DC, dude, look back at Zack's original plan in 2016 that we had. We were supposed to get Gotham Siren movie. We were supposed to get a Nightwing movie. We were supposed to get a Ben Affleck solo film. Flash film was already supposed to be out. Shazam's first story, I want to say, was supposed to be as Black Adam as the villain. I want to say that's why we got that confirmation he was Black Adam way back when, because it was supposed to happen nowish, or I guess before. But at this moment in time, or I guess Warner Brothers needs to get it together. Honestly, guys, like that's kind of where I'm taking this at. They just need to let Zack take it over. Like I said, for the haters, man, like for the Zack Snyder haters, I get where you're coming from. Like, I get that he's had his chance apparently, and it's messed up and blah blah blah. Even though that 99% of the shots that were filmed in Snyder Cut was filmed way back when, but whatever. What is so bad with letting him take over? Like, why can't we see this? Why can't we see this evil Superman take out? Why can't we see Martian Manhunter finally, hopefully, in action? So I just say with that, like, Warner Brothers needs to get it together, because if not, we'll be getting more movies like Wonder Woman 84. And if you liked Wonder Woman 84, I'm sorry, I don't know, bad film. But at this moment in time, Zack has stated that he's fully finished writing Justice League 2 and 3. The ball is in Warner Brothers' courts, let's be real. With them being bought by Discovery, I honestly sit here in my chair and think that the chances are actually pretty high now for a sequel. I thought before, with the AT&T's original ownership, I honestly kind of thought there was a little bit of a chance, but I think with new ownership, they'll look at all the money. That's what these big corporations, that's what Warner Brothers and AT&T for some reason aren't looking at, is the money. Like, and you're making your fans happy, but you're also getting money. That's the key as a corporation. That is the key. Like, So anyway, guys, well, Geek Squad, I mean, I've rambled enough. So if you got to the end of the video, I want to say thank you. It means a lot that you took the time out of your day to watch this video. Leave a like before you do, so I know you enjoyed the video. If not, you must be a Snyder fader or a Snyder hater. But anyway, but I'll see you geeks in the next video. Peace out.